guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, thanks so much for stopping by. Hope you like what you see today. This bun is going a little bit crazy. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the brand new Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nudes palette, as well as their Turn Up the Light Complexion Enhancing Highlighting Palette. Don't have the name memorized yet. So profesh, I know. Okay, so starting off with the eyeshadow palette, I'm just gonna go over a few of my thoughts, and then for the Turn Up the Light palettes, I realized I kind of discussed everything that I felt in the demo, so just stay tuned for that part. All right, so this palette retails for $45. Inside you get 16 eyeshadows. There is a mirror. Right off the bat, you can tell it's actually a cardboard component. Typically with Too Faced, we see the tin palettes. I'll talk more about that later in the demo. But inside are the 16 shades. The longer bar eyeshadows are the matte shadows, and with each matte shadow you have a coordinating metallic shade. Now, whenever I first opened this, I was like, oh yeah, that's nice, another really pretty neutral eyeshadow palette. Right off the bat, I didn't realize this actually, so I shouldn't say that. I noticed this later in the video. I don't know about you, but when I look at this, I definitely think bridal. You have a very nice, soft, everyday neutral look here. You have something more bronzy and smoky, and in the center you have some gorgeous, soft berry tones. If you have a wedding coming up, I think this would be a great palette for you. Or if you are a makeup artist, you probably already have a lot of these shades in your collection, to be honest. But if you're just looking for a one and done palette, I think this would be great. You could always go in with a black on the side if that's something that you really need. But I will say, whenever I first opened this section here, I was like, oh wow, those mattes look really, really soft. Obviously for like the brow bone shade, I like that. But then whenever I looked at these two, I was like, oh, those look kind of really soft, pale, and dusty. But I was pleasantly surprised. They definitely translate deeper on your eyes. You could keep it really soft, but if you even just pick up a little bit extra on your brush, they do pack quite a bit of punch. As much as I like my other Too Faced palettes, I wasn't crazy about the peach palette. I know a lot of people love that one. I did like the chocolate bar palettes, but I do think I like the color variety in this more than in the two or three chocolate bar palette. Metallic shadows are very buttery, smooth, creamy, great application with finger or your brush. One thing that I wanted to note though that I think is really gimmicky, and I'm not saying this just on behalf of Too Faced, but so many brands are jumping on this whole bandwagon. So this palette says that it's infused with alpine rose, coconut water, and hyaluronic acid. I think brands are starting to realize that consumers are becoming more and more into skincare. I mean, we should all be taking our skincare seriously, but I think a lot of people were definitely lazy with it before, and lately hyaluronic acid seems to be like the it ingredient. Everyone wants additional hydration or to draw that hydration into their face. So in an eyeshadow palette, is that really necessary? Don't get me wrong, I mean, I want hydration on my eyes, but did I notice any difference from other shadows that I've used in my collection where I was like, oh my God, this feels so like hydrated. I can feel all the moisture being drawn in. Absolutely not. And I'm not saying that that's just Too Faced. I've seen ColourPop do it. I've seen plenty of other brands do it. I just thought it was worth mentioning because it's just like a trend that I'm noticing more and more. Suddenly, everything is infused with hyaluronic acid. One thing that I wanted to quickly mention about the Turn Up the Light palettes, just because for the most part in the demo, I relay all my thoughts about like the finishes and whatnot, but I forgot to mention the packaging is different on each one. As you can see, the components kind of correlate with the tone of each one. So you have light, medium, tan, and then deep. While the packaging is bulky, I mean, it looks like a freaking football, like get out there, dude. I think it's kind of the smallest they could have done with a complexion palette unless they decided to skip the mirror. But I definitely think whenever you buy a complexion palette, most people want a mirror in there just because it's not like, you know, lips, you can kind of go without a mirror, but when applying a complexion product, a lot of people may keep it in their purse. I'm not someone to touch up my highlight too often in the day, but I can see other people wanting to pack the soft focus highlighter, or a lot of people do pack their makeup on the go. Like if they have an office job, some people apply their makeup after the gym on the way to work, hopefully not while they're driving. But so I can kind of see it is bulky, but it makes sense for the amount of product that you get in the palette. The rest of my thoughts on those I'll explain to you in the demo. So let's go ahead and move on to that section. As usual, I'm going to start off with a brow bone highlight. For that, I'm going into the shade Swan. Originally, when I opened this palette, I was kind of weirded out that it wasn't a tin palette just because typically the core group of palettes from Too Faced normally come in a tin palette, and then like the holiday ones are usually in the cardboard packaging. And I don't know if it's just because the holiday ones come in that cardboard packaging, and I know the holiday ones always end up being of lesser quality, that I assumed it was gonna be the same for this. So I'm a little bit nervous, but We'll see. I am actually testing out a few new brushes today. These are new brushes from Profusion. I have to say I love the handle. It kind of tapers in the center, so it's really comfortable to hold, and it has that really nice soft touch. I'm not quite sure what the prices are on these. I do think that they come all individually. I'm not sure if there's a set yet or not, but if I can find them, I'll go ahead and list them down below. So the first one I'm going to start off with is the Pointed Crease Shadow. This is just the ES3. For the first color, I'm between Nude and Maple. Maybe we'll just go ahead and jump right into Maple. Ooh, that picked up a lot right away without having a ton of fallout or anything. You guys already know I love anything that's like an orangey muted brown. I think I may actually go into a lighter shade after all. I don't think I'm gonna go all the way down to Seashell. Let's go ahead and dip into Nude. Oh, that ended up being a little bit darker than what I thought. It's exactly what I was looking for, but I think it does translate a little bit darker on the skin than what it looks like in the pan. Then going in with the Profusion Firm Blending Eyeshadow, this is the ES2. Let's dip into the shade Cocoa. And I am just going to concentrate this lower down in my crease, but I'm still gonna go from outer to inner corner. Keegan, now is not the time to be texting me. I think I'm actually just gonna put this all over my lid and keep it a little bit lower down. I'm not gonna go quite up as high as I did with Cocoa, or not Cocoa, what was it, Nude. Now to add a bit more depth, I think we're gonna go in with the deepest shade, which this one is called Truffle. So far, all these shades are blending in really nicely. Ooh, I really do like this one a lot. These two deepest matte shades have been my favorite so far. I just really love how rich they are. So for my lid, I'm thinking I really want to go in with Sparkled Sable. This is the darkest matte, just for kind of like a grungy, smoky look. But at the same time, I do want to test one of the lighter metallics. First, let's just lay this down all over, and then maybe we can just pop some of the lighter shade in the center. I'm kind of between, I think, Rose Gold and Golden Light. Either of these would be beautiful with this. But I'm kind of liking the gold, maybe just a touch in the center, or maybe we can mix both. So starting off with Golden Light. Let's do Rose Gold, just because that was the first one that caught my eye. I love these pinky tones. And we'll just melt some of this right from the inner corner into the center. And Rose Gold is matching my shirt today. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of Truffle and just really blend this color out. I went in with the ColourPop Queenie Lashes on my lips. I have one of the Bobbi Brown Crushed Liquid Lips. When these first came out, everybody was going crazy about them. I still love the shade Haute Cocoa. I keep this one in my purse at all times. That's what I have on my lips. And then for the sake of the video, to keep it on theme, I went in with the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. To be honest, this isn't one of my favorite bronzers. I don't think it's bad, but I just don't really gravitate towards it that often. I know it does have a cult following though, so that's what's on my face for bronzer. For foundation, I have the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. I think I should have mixed it with something a little bit more hydrating today though, just because my face is a little bit dry today, so it's not sitting how I typically like it, but it'll do. Okay, moving on to the next product demo, we have the Turn Up the Light palettes. These are the complexion enhancing highlighting palettes. There are 4 different options. We have light, medium, tan, and then deep. The one that I have in my hands right now is medium. So in the center, you have the soft focus powder. This is something that you could use all over your face. I don't know about you, but right when I looked at this, it could just be the fact that it's like a domed product, but even the name of it, first thing that popped up in my mind are the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powders. This one here is in dim light, so it has that same like dome shaped product in the pan. I haven't used this in forever. Honestly, it's probably way past its due date, but it still works okay. Powders have a longer lifespan, so I've just been holding on to it. I will say though, to the touch, the Hourglass one definitely feels silkier, but when you swatch them, they have a very similar look to them. So there's soft focus, there's glow, which is more of your traditional highlighter, and then on the very end, we have Dazzle. This, to me, whenever you touch it, it definitely feels chunkier and drier. This is a product that has glitter pieces in it. I haven't applied this one to my face yet, so I'm not quite sure how it's gonna perform on the face, but to the touch, just be warned, it does feel dry. It does feel a little bit more like crumbly and glittery. So I thought we could go in and do this soft focus powder just all over the face. I do have powder on my under eyes and then whatever was left on the sponge. I'm getting red on my chest and my shoulders. I feel like this is turning pink, and my neck and my face just look like more of a yellow skin tone, so just disregard that. I'm just gonna go in with one of my favorite powder brushes. This is the It Cosmetics, I don't even know what it's called. I don't know what happened to this, but the handle is disgusting. Luckily, I have other ones. You know what? I'm just gonna go in with a different brush because that's embarrassing. We have the It Cosmetics just powder brush. So I am just going to dip all into the medium soft focus powder, and I figured we could just go in and buff this all over and see what kind of a look that it gives. Maybe it'll just have some illumination in it to distract you from the fine lines in my forehead. Ooh. That does create a really nice glow without feeling heavy on the skin or cakey. I actually do like that. And it does have a little bit of a translucent quality to it. It's not super pigmented because in the pan it does look really light, but I feel like whenever I just go in and do a buffing all over, it's just kind of melting in to my skin. All right, let's go in with my nose. I do have bronzer, but we can just go over that. Ooh, I really do like the finish of this. If you do like the hourglass effect, I think you would really like this Too Faced powder too, especially if you're looking for something that has a highlighter in it as well. I'm just gonna go in with the Anastasia one, and starting off with the glow powder, just because this has more of a traditional, like, oh, that's a lot more pigmented than what I thought it was gonna be. Like fine milled finish. Ooh, that may have been too much though, because yeah, I forgot how much this brush can really pick up. Let me go in with my powder brush and buff some of that off, just because that's really enhancing texture. That was my own fault. I just went in really heavy-handed. Okay, so let's knock some of that off first. It is a very pretty color though. Honestly, I'm like not even wanting to try the Dazzle side because I don't like a glittery, chunky highlighter. I'm just gonna smile, pop some of that. I did not go in with blush, so I guess I'm just relying on highlighter today. Okay, now let's go in with Dazzle. I just don't like the texture of it, but maybe it'll apply prettier than the way that it feels. Okay, let's zoom in, sorry. I totally forgot. Actually, yeah, the glitter isn't really translating on my skin. If anything, it's just kind of zhuzhing up the glow highlighter. I don't see like chunks of glitter on my face. There are like little micro shimmers, but it's not like chunky glitter. That's what I was worried about. Huh, not too shabby. I definitely do prefer the glow powder though over the Dazzle. But all in all, they are nice. Okay, I definitely need some blush. So I'm just going in with MAC Sweet as Cocoa. Anytime I wear a bronzy type of eye, this is one of my go-to blushes. Now that I use that, I think that could have been a better option than Dazzle in these palettes. Obviously, that's all just personal preference, but to me, 2 highlighters in a palette is a little bit excessive, especially because a lot of people don't like glittery or chunky highlighters. I think a better option would have been to keep the glow powder, the soft focus powder, and then either go in with a glowy bronzer or a blush. In my mind, that just makes more sense because a lot of people don't really go for a chunky or glittery highlighter. Not that it translated that way on the skin, but I felt like with just glow, I was fine on my highlight. I didn't feel the need to go in with Dazzle. The only reason that I did was so you guys could see it on camera, but yeah, I think this could be swapped out for something else. Now, when it comes to the palette, this is beautiful. The packaging is still just kind of a little bit off for me just because Too Faced is so known for their tin palettes, but at the same time, I like that I can just flip it all the way over like this. I like that it's really thin and sleek, something easy to pack. You could definitely create a ton of just easy everyday looks with this. To be honest, I don't think it would have been something that I would have ran out and got right away just because I have so many singles and so many palettes that do have tones like this, but it's nice to have all of these in one palette just because you do have more of this kind of pinky rosy category. Then you have over here just, you know, your traditional bronzy golds, and then just a very soft everyday, almost like bridal section. That's actually what this palette would be ideal for. If you're a makeup artist or if you have a wedding coming up, I think you could find everything that you need in here minus a black, which many of us already have, like single blacks or blacks in other palettes. And there you have it. There is my review and initial thoughts on this new Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nudes and Turn Up the Light collection. Let me know if you guys have picked any of these up. I always love to hear from you. Thanks so much, as always, for spending part of your day with me. I would love if you subscribe. That way we can hang out some more. Hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.